यथा पुरुष आत्मानं एकम आदर्श चक्षुषः द्विधा भूतम अवेक्षेता तथैवान्तरमावयोः। यथा पुरुष आत्मानं एकमादर्श चक्षुषः द्विधा भूतमवेक्षेता तथैवान्तरमावयोः। यथा पुरुष आत्मानं एकमादर्श चक्षुषः द्विधा भूतमवेक्षेता तथैवान्तरमावयोः। यथा पुरुष आत्मानं एकमादर्श चक्षुषः द्विधा भूतमवेक्षेता तथैवान्तरमावयोः।
यथा पुरुष आत्मानं एकम आदर्श चक्षुषो द्विधा भूतम अवेक्षेत तथैवान्तरमावयोः। यथा पुरुष आत्मानं एकम आदर्श चक्षुषो द्विधा भूतमवेक्षेता तथैवान्तरमावयोः। यथा पुरुष आत्मानं एकम आदर्श चक्षुषो द्विधा भूतमवेक्षेता
Hare Krishna. Anybody online wants to chant?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yata purusha atmanam ekam adarsha chakshusho dvidha bhutam aveksheta tathaivantaram avayoho. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yata purusha atmanam ekam adarsha chakshusho vidha bhutam aviksheta tadaivantaramavyayo.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yatha purusha atmanam ekam adarsha chakshusho vidha bhutam aviksheta तथैवान्तरमावयोः। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। यथा पुरुष आत्मानं एकमादर्श चक्षुषो द्विधा भूतमवेक्षेत तथैवान्तरमावयोः। हरे कृष्ण।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु। यथा आत्मानं एकम आदर्श चक्षुषो द्विधा भूतमवेक्षेत तथैवान्तरमावयोः। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी। यथा पुरुष आत्मानाम् एकमादर्श
यथा पुरुषात्मानम् एकम् आदर्श चक्षुषोः द्विधा भूतम् यमैक्षेत तथैवान्तरं मावयोः। हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी
हरे
धन्यवाद।
कृष्ण प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी यथा
पुरुष
पुरुष
आत्मनः एकम् आदर्शन चक्षुषो द्विधा भूतं वेक्षेत तथैवान्तरमावाक्युः हरे
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 कृष्ण प्रभु
कृष्ण
जी
प्रभु जी।
दंडवत प्रणाम प्रभु जी यथा पुरुष आत्मानम् एकम् आदर्श चक्षुषो द्विधा भूतम् अवेक्षेत तथा एव अन्तरम् अवययो
हरे
कृष्ण
कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
प्रभुजी यथा
यथा
पुरुष आत्मानाम् एकम् आदर्शचक्षुषो द्विधा भूतः अवेक्ष्येत तथैवान्तरम् अव्ययम्। थैंक यू प्रभुजी।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी। यथा पुरुषात्मानम् एकम् आदर्शचक्षुषो द्विधा भूतम् अवेक्षेत तथैवान्तरमावयोः। हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी।
Done, everybody? Thank you. Yatha, as Purushaha, the living entity. Atmanam is body. Ekam, one. Adarsha, in a mirror. Chakshushoho, by the eyes. Dvida, abhutam, existing as two. Aveksheta, sees. Tata, similarly. Eva, certainly. Antaram, difference. Avayoho, between ourselves. As a person sees the reflection of the body, of his body in the mirror to be one with himself and not different, whereas others actually see two bodies. So in a material condition in which the living entity is affected and yet not affected, there is a difference between God and the living entity. Yes, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी Purport Purport by Jivange Sesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Prabhupada ki jai. Being affected by the conditioning of matter, Mayavadi philosophers cannot see the difference between the Supreme Lord and the living entity. When the sun is reflected in a pot of water, the sun knows that there is no difference between himself and the reflected sun in the water. Those in ignorance, however, perceive that there are many small suns reflected in each and every spot, each and every pot. As far as the brilliance is concerned, there is brilliance both in the original sun and in the reflections, but the reflections are small, whereas the original sun is very large. Vaishnava philosophers conclude that the living entity is simply a small sample of the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. Qualitatively, God and the living entities are one, but quantitatively, the living entities are small fragments of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord is full, powerful, and opulent. In the previous verse, the Lord says, My dear friend, you and I are not different. This non difference refers to the qualitative oneness. For it was not necessary for the Paramatma, the Supreme Personality, to remind the conditioned soul that he is not one in quantity. The self realized soul never thinks that he and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are one in every respect. Although he and the Supreme Personality of God are one in quality, the living entity is prone to forget his spiritual identity, whereas the Supreme Personality never forgets. This is the difference between Lipta and Alipta. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is eternally Alipta, uncontaminated by the external energy. The conditioned soul, however, being in contact with the material nature, forgets his real identity. Therefore, when he sees himself in the conditioned state, he identifies himself with the body. For the Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, there is no difference between the body and the soul. He is completely soul. He has no material body. Although the super soul, Paramatma, and the individual soul are both within the body, the super soul is devoid of designation, whereas the conditioned soul is designated by his particular type of body. The super soul is called Antaryami and is extensive. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 13.3. Kshetragnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. O scion of Bharata, you should understand that I am also the knower in all bodies. The super soul is present in everyone's body, whereas the individual soul is conditioned in one particular type of body. The individual soul cannot understand what is taking place in another's body, but the super soul knows very well what is happening in all bodies. In other words, the super soul is always present in his full spiritual position, whereas the individual soul is prone to forget himself. Nor is the individual soul present everywhere. Generally, in his conditioned state, the individual soul cannot understand his relationship with the supersoul, but sometimes, when he is free from all conditional existence, he can see the real difference between the supersoul and himself. When the supersoul tells the conditioned soul, "You and I are one and the same," it is to remind the conditioned soul of his spiritual identity as being qualitatively one. In the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam 3.28.40, it is said, Yatol mukhad vispuralingad धर्माद् वापि स्वसंभवात् अपि आत्मत्वेनाभिमताद् यथाग्नि पृथक् उल्मुखात्. Fire has different features. There is flame, the sparks, and the smoke. All these are one in quality, but there is still a difference between the fire, the flame, the spark, and the smoke. The living entity becomes conditioned, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead is different because he does not become conditioned at any point. In the Vedas, it is stated, Atma tatha pratak drashta bhagavan brahma samagnitaha. Atma is the individual soul as well as the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is the seer of everything. Although both are spirit, there is always a difference. In the Smriti, it is also said, Yatagne Shutra Vispulanga Vicharanti. Just as sparks manifest in a large fire, similarly, the small individual souls are present in the big spiritual flame. In Bhagavad Gita 9.4, Lord Krishna says, Matsthani sarva bhutani nachaham tesha avastitaha. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Although all living beings are resting in him, as small fiery sparks rest on a large flame, both are differently situated. Similarly, in the Vishnu Purana, it is said, Ekadesha sitasnyagner jyotsna vistarini yata parasye brahmana shaktihi tatedam akilam jagat. Fire is situated in one place, but it distributes heat and light. Similarly, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is distributing his energies in different ways. The living entity is but one of these energies, marginal energy. The energy and the energetic are one in one sense, but they are differently situated as energy and the energetic. Similarly, the Sachidananda form confirmed in Brahma Samhita, Ishvaraha Parama Krishnaha Sachidananda Vigraha, is different from that of the living entity in both his conditioned and liberated states. Only atheists consider the living entity and the personality of Godhead equal in all respects. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore says, Mayavadi bhasha shunile hoi sarvanasha. If one follows the instructions of Mayavadi philosophers and believes that the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the individual soul are one, his understanding of real philosophy is forever doomed. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashat Deshatadine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Yatha Purusha Atmanam Ekamadarsa Chakshushoho Dvida Bhutam Aveksheta Tathaivantaram Avayoho. A person sees the reflection of his body in a mirror to be one with himself and not different, whereas the others actually see two bodies. So in our material condition in which the living entity is affected and yet not affected, there is a difference between God and the living entity. Hare Krishna everybody. Shri Radha Govinda ki jai.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
So now anyway, so today the meditation is reflection. So very nicely said here, reflection, some meditation. Reflection So there is Bhagavad Gita, there is a chapter on reflection. What is the shloka? Nobody knows.
मूलम् अधःशाकम् अश्वत्थम् प्राहुरव्ययम् छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्मिन् वेद स वेदवित्.
Very good. So this whole material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. And what happens here? We start taking this world. Some people who have wisdom, they know it is actually different. That's what the shloka is saying. And some people see it to be same. When Bharat Maharaj was playing with the deer, he actually thought it to be spiritual. That many times I told you that example when I deal with the students in the colleges and I say, don't get into this girlfriend, boyfriend thing. They say, no sir, in my case it is pure love. He does not know. It is not even a reflection. That is called perverted reflection. He does not know. Similarly, Bharat Maharaj also thought this is love of God only, my relation within me and Arey Baba, you left the reflection at home to come to see the real thing. And here also you got trapped in another reflection. Like proper joke, some people leave their family, everything, and they come to spiritual life and they get entangled in another family. They leave the wife, children at home, go to Vrindavan, they look for another woman there. They gave up one reflection and took up another reflection. So in the chapter of reflection, it is said very soon that you have to cut down this reflection. You have to cut down this tree of reflection. Not the original tree. Original tree you cannot cut also, that is the spiritual world, but you have to become detached. You have to become detached from this world. The lost in reflection. So many, somebody is talking to a child is speaking something very funny, and you are getting lost in reflection. Where was an opportunity? In Bhagavad Gita, there is Prabhupada describes, Krishna describes the spiritual world. What does it say? Natata bhashate shuryo. Yeah, who knows the shloka?
न तद्भासते सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम.
Okay? So, Nata bhashate surya, you gave up. You understand that the real world, what is that? There is no need of sun and moon there. Elgato. No, there is no need of sun and moon there. Anna? That's what it says. There is no need of sun and moon. Natad bhashate surya, na shashanka, na pavakaha. You don't need this light, electricity, nothing is needed there. It's everything is self-luminous. In this material world, we have only one planet, sun, which is luminous. But in spiritual world, everything is self-luminous. Rather, whatever light we have in this world, we are borrowing from that light. We are borrowing the light from the spiritual world. Original light of the Krishna Loka. And we are borrowing from that light. So, the Prabhupada says in the purport there, that an intelligent person should be captivated by this information. Yadgatva na nivartante. If you go back, eternally you will stay there. An intelligent person should be captivated by this information that actually we am lost in the reflection. There is the original tree somewhere. And that is our life. Perverted reflection. Exactly looks same. Yesterday we were discussing this. The material body exactly looks like spiritual body. The material relation exactly look like spiritual relation. It's very, very difficult. Therefore, when Srila Prabhupada landed in America, they said, why you have come? He said, I came to make you more intelligent. Correct? People are just lost in reflection and they are thinking this is the spiritual. This is not spiritual. This is reflection. And that is what we pray to the Lord when you are chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Please detach me from this reflection. And that is also the symptom of spiritual advancement. What is spiritual advancement? It says that if we have spiritual advancement, automatically Vairagya will develop. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojata Janayati Asu Vairagyam. Immediately Vairagya will develop. Again and again it is emphasized. Spiritual advancement means Jnana Vairagya develops. So we develop attraction to the real tree, to the spiritual tree, and we get disinterested in the material tree. We are not attracted. We don't waste our time being glaring at the material tree. Either physically nowadays or in the digital screens we are glaring at the material world as a real tree. It is not. So can you do that? Now Prabhupada says you are captivated. One should capture this information and fix your heart on the spiritual tree. In the first canto, Srila Prabhupada talks about again and again the mundane literatures are just reflection. He says sensual refuse and the spiritual literature is a real tree. So can we be intelligent enough to focus our heart on the real literature? That is left to you. Life is in your hand. Life is in your hand. It says, one shloka it says that if there is spiritual advancement, automatically there is detachment from this world. Bhakti paresha anubhava, paresha anubhava. When you deal with the real tree, you get spiritual experience. Because actually in the real tree, there are real fruits. In the reflection, the fruits are not having anything in them. Correct? You go philosophically understand. Because real darshan is not easy. In the real tree, what is there? Real fruits are there. You can eat those fruits, there is so much taste and there is so much pleasure in it. In the reflection, there is fruits, but there is no taste in it. So in the material body, material relations, material happiness that we imagine with interaction between them, there is no real happiness. We are being cheated. Imagine somebody jumps in a shadow and he tries to enjoy the fruits in the shadow. He is a fool person. So the people who are attracted to the shadow world, see, theoretically understanding will not take you out because we are addicted. What we are? We are addicted. You cannot just by theoretical understanding come out. It requires great deal of introspection and humility to understand I am addicted to enjoy this tree. Not easy. Once you understand that actually you are wasting your time with this tree and there is no happiness in it and I am being cheated, then person begins sadhana to be able to detach from this tree and put his heart in the real tree. Then real spiritual life begins. What is spiritual life? Art of focusing one heart on Krishna. That is called spiritual. What is spiritual? Krishna consciousness means to withdraw our mind from all so-called reflections where we are glaring. Look at the real tree. Because the reflection is different from the real tree. Reflection gives indication of the real tree. Just like there are so many dynamics of relations. There are so many dynamics of relation in this material world. It's the reflection from the original tree. Just imagine if the reflection is so attractive, how beautiful is the real tree. And once somebody has actually tasted the real fruits in the real tree, he will stop wasting time in jumping over the shadows in the material world where there is no happiness. Now you can put in the perspective. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says what? He said, Prajahati yada kaman sarva partha manogatan. So all the enjoyments are in the material world illusory. It's only in the mind. If you see a reflection of a mango, and in the mango you are thinking there is taste. Is there a taste in that reflection? No. Where is the taste? In your mind. All the enjoyments in this world actually do not exist. They only exist within your hallucination of the mind. Prajahati yada kaman sarva partha manogatan. Suppose somebody tells you, in the liquor there is no taste, but if you are addicted, even the knowledge is there, you cannot come out. So it takes time. It takes time to disentangle ourselves from so-called enjoyment in this world and come to real enjoyment. It takes time. And a drunkard knows. You can give him information, but he cannot come out. So it's not easy. Therefore in Bhagavad Gita, in the 12th chapter, when Krishna establishes Shuddha Bhakti as the highest thing and gives 8 shlokas glorifying his pure devotees, Arjuna says, I want to know what is the body, what is God. So why? Some people, Mayavadi say, therefore Jnana Yoga is greater than Bhakti Yoga. No. You understand Krishna Bhakti and now you know you need information, how, you need help. He was taking Krishna's help. Okay, Krishna, I understood Krishna Bhakti is the greatest, but I need help to disentangle myself from the reflections of this world and come to the real world. So this is how the Krishna speaks. The 13th chapter in that, 14th chapter, 15th chapter, all chapters go on one after another, helping us to disentangle from the material world, which is so glaring. And what is the reflection is based on? See, reflection is based on water. And what is the chapter says? The reflection of the spiritual world is on what? Your desire. Moment you give up the desire of material enjoyment, the reflection vanishes. Suppose there is no water, there is no reflection. How can you have reflection without water? So therefore, this whole reflection of the material world is created. Prabhupada gives the example again and again of the mother showing a mirror to the child. Why she is showing mirror to the child? And she doesn't want to because he wants something crazy. So similarly, when we have crazy desires, that's the time reflection is created. You give up crazy desires, there is no reflection. Then you are totally liberated from the distractions, attractions, addictions of the material world. You become very, very peaceful. Bhakti paresha anubhava virakshi annasa chiddate hridaya granthi badyate sarva samshayaha. All the granthis, attachment in the heart go away. Therefore Prabhupada, when he is trying to, he knows I am going to America and taking people from the world of reflection to the real world, he chants the shlokas from the Bhagavatam in the ship. What is that? Shanvatam Sakata Krishna. Anybody knows the shloka? You can chant along. Shanvatam Sakata Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtana Hridantasya Vadrani Vidhanoti Surasatam Nashta Prayesha Vadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloki Bhakti Vasati Naishaki
भवति
Parajastam Tavo Bhava Kamalova Dayasya Ete Chete Uddam Satam Satya Prasidati Evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogatah bhagavad tattva vijnana mukta sangha sajayate chidyate hridaya granthi bhidyate sarva samshayah shriyante charmani destroy vatmanishware. Okay, isn't it? Now, why? Because by hearing about holy name of Krishna and the Krishna Katha, Shravanam, not only it gives you the information that actually there is a real tree, it also makes you taste the fruits of the real tree. Because Krishna Nama and Krishna is not different. Narration of Krishna and Krishna is not different. Correct? But then what happens in the neophyte stage, there are nama bhasa, there is nam aparada. First stage of our chanting is called nam aparada, wherein we are still attached to material enjoyment and so many sinful activities, we are doing so many offenses and we are chanting the holy name. Therefore there is no taste, Hare Krishna, no mood to chant, mani nahi karta jab karne ka. That is called nam aparada stage. Then the next one is nam abhasa, at which the reflection appears. Now the reflection is little taste that we get in our Krishna consciousness, in every service, correct? Somebody's got a taste, then he does any service to Krishna very carefully. He does very carefully because he knows I am doing it for the pleasure of Krishna, correct? He does it very carefully. That is called nam abhasa. Now he is in Sattva-guna and he is chanting very carefully. Abhasa, reflection. Little. Reflection mein thoda to light aata hai. He feels very happy, but it's still not the real tree. And then called Shuddha Nama, where actually person tastes a real tree. So there are three stages. So he begins, therefore it is a lifelong begins. He begins the process and gradually wants to taste. His objective is to taste, but then he should not become sahajiya. Sahajiya means he is not serious about following rules and regulations. Sahajiya means he is not serious about doing any service to the Lord. Din ho gaya, din nikal gaya, koi seva nahi kari, kha pi ke so gaye. He is sahajiya. And then he wants to taste the holy name of the Lord, it will not come. Then he pushes his mind, then mind can create another reflection for him. Anything I am tasting Krishna, he is not tasting. There was one Srila Prabhupada in Vrindavan, and one person started rolling on the ground, Krishna, Krishna, like that. Prabhupada did not even look at him. Are Baba, Acharya, I should look somebody. Prabhupada, no, this is fake ecstasies. They can distinguish between real ecstasy and fake ecstasy. It's not easy. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing when he had come to Vrindavan, he was dancing in ecstasy on the way. And there was one, Sanodiya Brahmana, he also started dancing in ecstasy. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing and dancing, he was in a temple, and that person was also dancing in ecstasy like anything. Then after the kirtan was over, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, wait a minute, from how you this ecstasy is manifested in you? He said, Madhavendra Puri. So he is actually within our movement, even the Sampradaya that we are in, Madhu Sampradaya, it is from Madhavendra Puri, the ecstasy, the bliss of Krishna consciousness has been showered very easily. Otherwise we'll be doing just rituals, the standard, the parampara. The happiness, ecstasy, but it cannot be imitated. This is not to be imitated. This will come when we are genuinely following. But no, I don't want to follow rules and regulations. I don't know how to do anything. I will not do service also. I will not do sadhana also. And ecstasy will develop. It will not develop. You will dabble with the shadows, and which you take to be real. See, a sahajiya doesn't feel he is a sahajiya. Like Bharat Maharaj, now he is upadharma. He doesn't feel it is upadharma. He said, this is God's arrangement. It is God asking me to take care of the deer now. So, see, when somebody is seeing reflection, he is seeing something. No, this is it. This is the real apple. He is seeing the reflection. As much you try, you can't convince him. No, this is the real apple. And it's not easy to come out. The reflection is so well done. Some people take sinful activities to be the activities. They feel convinced they have to do the sinful activity. Vidharma. So like that, so many kind of things are there which look like real, but actually they are not real. It's only by the grace, Brahmand Brahmite Kono Bhagavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. By the mercy of the Acharya and mercy of Krishna, we have got a glimpse that actually it is true, there is spiritual world. Krishna has gifted that. Now having understood, yes, there is spiritual world, next our attention should be what? how do I become detached from the illusion which I am to so much, I am attached to the illusion in this world. True? I am wasting my time in the illusion in this world. How do I get detached? Therefore, Bhagavad Gita last 6 chapters about that only, no? Arjuna understood in the 12th chapter, Shuddha Bhakti is greatest. Why did he ask the remaining chapter? 3 modes. 3 modes show how much we are entangled in the material world. The desire, first is our desire to be independent of Krishna. And because of the desire to be independent of Krishna, what next thing follows? The 3 modes, the illusion, which facilitate the reflection in this world. And we are trapped, attached. There is a reflection. Like it says, some people say it to be same, some people different. Those who are intelligent, they can understand that the reflection is different from the original. Reflection is there. You cannot say, the Mayavadis say that the reflection is illusory. It's not illusory, it's existing. Reflection is there. Reflection is there. Just like sun is there and there is a reflection of sun in the water. You cannot say there is a Jagat Mithya. No. The way you are looking at the reflection, that is Mithya. You cannot deny the reflection. Reflection is existing. Reflection is existing. The Mayavadis, what they do, they say this reflection is illusion. But they have no information of the reality. So Prabhupada says they come back and jump into the reflection. Because you cannot, unless you have higher taste, you cannot give up lower taste. Aruya kichena param padam tataha patanti adat anadit. They will fall down. Nobody can stay without activity. Nobody. So they do not have information, but they have knowledge that there is no happiness in this reflection. That much we have to give credit to them. Therefore Prabhupada says, you see, Mayavadi sannyasi also bow down. At least he has accepted that what he has accepted, there is no happiness in the material world. Jnani. But a bhakta is the greatest because he has actually understood where there is real happiness. And he understands the reflection exists. Correct? He understands the reflection exists, but he understands there is no happiness in the reflection. Mayavadis, they deny, they say, Jagat Mithya. There is no reflection. Reflection is there, no? How can you deny? They say it is a dream. So Prabhupada has a very famous argument. He says, not everybody cannot have the same dream. हमारा सपना आता है, आपका भी वही सपना नहीं हो सकता, सबका अलग अलग सपना होता है. तो आप बोले इस दुनिया एक सपना है, नहीं. आपका सपना है, आपका सपना नहीं है, ये भगवान का सपना है. And Krishna's dream is also real. Our dream is a fantasy. Krishna's dream is also real. And the whole material world is created by Lord in dream. And just imagine, in awake stage, Krishna is playing with this devotee. Because we have dream-like desires, illusory desires. Dream means illusory. So Krishna in a dream creates a material world to facilitate our hallucinations. But in reality, if you want, you can play with Krishna in the spiritual world and derive real happiness. So another meaning of reflection is also taken, just like sun is reflected in water. The amount of heat in the water is very less compared to the sun. But there is heat. So similarly, there is a difference between the Supreme Lord and us. We are reflections, but then the heat is less. Heat is less. It is just like when the water, the reflection is there. If the water is shaking, looks like the sun is shaking. Correct? Suppose sun. So similarly, the jiva is in the material world, but it looks like he is into disturbance. But actually there is no disturbance. Matra sparsha asta kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkha agama payino nityas tam titikshasa bharata. So the ripples are belonging to the world, actually nothing is happening to the soul. This is another way the reflection is explained many times, very beautifully. Understanding? So there is reflection is shaking, material world is shaking, but soul doesn't shake. It remains eternally as it is. So Krishna says to Arjuna, tolerate the difficulties of this world. Now your grandfather is dying, Your guru is going to die in this world, don't be disturbed. Tolerate. Tam titikshasva bharata. Tolerate. What you can do, because you are lost in the world of reflection, you feel there is some shaking going on. Actually, there is no shaking going on. It's permanent. So very nicely, very beautifully, and this reflection can be studied. Another thing Prabhupada speaks about reflection, he says this, just like there is sun and stars and the reflection in water. What do we feel? We see there is a difference. God is like the sun, we are like the stars. Like a spark from the fire is there in the purport, the sparks are having part and parcel energy of the fire, but it is very small compared to the real fire. Or a photon on the sun. The photon also has heat and light, but very less compared to the sun. So different ways that reflection is discussed in the Shastra. And a whole, now we are concluding the story of Puranjana. And by hearing the story of Puranjana, Prabhupada in the next verse will give you huge list of the analogy, which was explained by Narada to Prachina Parishad. Huge. This was this, this was this, this was this, this was this. After understanding that, you can again go back and read the whole story and can understand so much. Okay, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everybody.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्णा धन्यवाद प्रणाम प्रभु
हरे
जी
कृष्णा धन्यवाद
Hare
प्रणाम
Krishna
प्रभु जी
Prabhuji.
प्रभु जी हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी प्रणाम प्रभु जी
Hare
प्रभु जी इन
Krishna.
रिफ्लेक्शंस कैन बी
Yes, Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी see reflection is actually this word is coming from the spiritual world. Now in materialistic world also, if you go near the bank of calm water reservoirs and if you go during the late evening hours, then you see the moonlight falling on this calm water, then you see the reflection of it, you see the entire sky containing sky and moon and everything in the thing. But the moment the water starts little bit shaking or moving, you also feel that the moon is even shaking. So that way this is the classic example of reflection. So am I right?
Yeah. The see, when Sattaguna means you can see things as they are. Water is not shaking. But Rajoguna, Tamoguna means disturb. Very difficult to talk to those people in any sense. Rasic, Tamasic people. Hai na?
Correct. Even the tree on the bank of calm water reservoirs you see, you exactly see the replica or the mirror image of it. So reflection is nothing but the mirror image or the replica of a thing, original thing. So this is what we see.
So when the reflection is so beautiful, how beautiful will the original tree? Hai na?
Yes, that's right, Prabhu. Correct. Hare Krishna.
So we have to get attracted to the real tree. But we do not have access to the real tree without the mercy of the Acharya. Therefore, whatever we are doing, we do service, we do chant, the focus is the pleasure of the Acharya. Acharya is pleased with me. Then, by the mercy of the Acharya, we get glimpses of the real tree. Krishna can do it directly, it doesn't do directly, it does through the Acharya. Okay? Therefore, when you are doing some service, you see gradually, Shanai, the real tree is given darshan, Krishna. And for a pure devotee, he continuously sees the Leela of the Lord in the heart. It is said like that. Because the Lord is so pleased by his service and so much he is in pain of separation from the Lord opens out the real tree. He can see the real tree. Even though he is in the material world. Jivan mukta sa uchyate. Ya yasya harer dasya karmana manasa gira. But the condition is karmana manasa gira. By your activities, by your body, by your mind, you are continuously serving the Lord. Nikuliteshu avastashu jivan mukta sachate. Krishna opens up the spiritual tree for him. He can see the spiritual tree. So we have no access to the spiritual tree without mercy of Krishna. We have no access. We can only see the material tree. But by mercy of the Acharya, today what we have understood, yes, there is, we got a glimpse. Just like Narad Muni was given a glimpse of the Paramatma picture. So we are also given a glimpse of the real tree. And now we have to work whole life. But in that there is sincerity. Therefore, chant Hare Krishna, one side, other side keep senses away from sense object. Both are together. Both are together, not only one. Why? If you do that, that means you are showing sincerity to go to the real tree. Krishna says, come. Otherwise, Krishna says, enjoy. This tree is endless. The reflection is endless, it will never end. You keep going from one branch to another branch. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, all these are part of the reflection. And keep jumping in the reflection, here, there. Keep looking in the reflection. Nowadays the mobile is there, see the reflection, not the real. So therefore Paramahamsa means he is able to discriminate between the reflection and the real tree. That is Hamsa. Differentiate between what is the real world and what is the spiritual. What is the reflection and what is the spiritual. It can discriminate, and he focuses attention on the real tree. Anna? And our attention is focused on the reflection. Even though we know this is a reflection, theoretically. But because the addictions we have, we are still lost in the materiality. ठीक है? जपा करते हैं ऐसे, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Because still lost in the reflection, we are chanting, that is not very attractive to the Lord. Okay? We are thinking about the reflection, we are thinking about our interaction to the reflection, and we are chanting the name of the Lord. That is all Nama Parada. Not very pleasing, that kind of service. You are doing service to Krishna, you are offering bhoga to Krishna, thinking about reflection. Huh? Isn't it? Everything we are doing like that only. We are not able to focus our mind on the real tree and plan to climb the real tree. You are planning to climb the real tree, but you are looking at the reflection. उधर ही दिमाग उधर ही है, तो उधर गिर जाओगे ना इधर से. Therefore we fall down in the spiritual life. Krishna says, better go there only. Tera man to udhar hi hai. You are climbing, just like Prabhupada says, the worm in the stool, you pull it out, runs back to the stool. So our condition is very abominable in this. So very feelingly we should pray to the Lord. Just like the prayer is there, Shishtastaka, please pick me up and put me as the dust on your lotus feet. Yes, what is the shloka?
किङ्करं पतितं मां विषमे भवाम्बुधौ कृपया तव पादपङ्कजस्थितधूलिसदृशं चिन्तया.
Krishna, I am so attracted to this reflection, I can't come out. You please pick me up and put me on the real tree. Anna? Hare Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna everybody. Hare Krishna. Chalo.
Hare Krishna.
Now you see the real tree. ठीक है ना? The darshan of Radha Govinda.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Radha Govinda ki.
Hare Krishna
Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare
Hare
നല്ല കൊച്ചായിരുന്നു ഇവിടെ കാണുന്ന കൊച്ച.
Hare
വളരെ
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
മാറ്റിയതാ.
Krishna, Hare Rama,
പച്ചയാണ്
Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare
Hare
ചുമതയായിരുന്നു.
Hare Rama